YouTube, I thought that I would change things up a little bit today and just do a chatting video. This is not me trying to buy time to finish this month's filming schedule, although I do need to do that. I bought this book a few years back from Waterstones. I don't know if they still sell it. It's called A Literary Listography. The subheading is My Reading Life in Lists, and since this is a book channel, I thought it would be nice to just talk a little bit about books and use this as a framework for it. We're not going to go through all of them, just some of them. This book was created by Lisa Nola and the illustrations are by Holly Exley. When I got this, I did begin filling it out. Not by much, but I did. And it will be interesting to see where my opinions have diverged. We begin, of course, with the easiest list, my top 20 beloved books. The illustration is listed Fyodor Dostoevsky's The Brothers Karamazov. Apologies for the pronunciation. As you might have seen, I only have one answer for this. I have favourite books. In particular, I've been talking a lot about Legend Born by Tracy Deonn, which is currently sitting at my favourite YA and still very high in just overall fantasy. But there's only one book that I've ever felt confident placing here, because this is the only book that I knew not only that I loved, but that I would continue to love this much for the rest of my life, and it is One Life, One Incarnation, Beautiful Bones by Mobile Fabal. At the risk of starting an argument in the comments section, I would describe this book as slow burn, love at first sight. I know, please bear with me. Apologies because I do not remember which tones are in their names, so I will not be pronouncing them correctly. Okay, so she is at the airport. There are only 2 lines open through security. She's taking off her shoes when she sees this man in the other queue and is immediately enthralled. The world falls away. Of course, she's staring at him so intently that once, he's ready to go, he turns around to look at this weirdo who is staring at him, and she's just gone. She and Zhou Shengchen knew each other in a past life. They were in love and did not act on it, and it did not have the happiest of endings, which is important because it isn't just them in the past lives, and it's really amazing the way that the past life interacts with and influences the present. And I call it slow burn, love at first sight because yes, it is him, but she is the only one who remembers who she was and who he was, but they also do not look the same and do not have the same personalities. They were in love in a past life and now they are different people, and so they get to fall in love all over again. The second list, as easy as the first, is accompanied by an illustration of George Saunders. This is my favourite authors. There are 4 that I have written down. The first is Mobile Fabal. Obviously, it isn't simply that I love One Life, One Incarnation, Beautiful Bones. It is, she has written such a dearth of novels and in so many different genres. They are all love stories as far as I am aware, or at least they all kind of focus on love stories. There are like Go Squid Go, I think, was recently adapted, wherein they are like professional esports gaming teams. There is One Life One Incarnation Beautiful Bones, which is a love story, so reincarnation is actually part of a series. There are fluffy, light, funny rom-coms. There's one in particular that I love. I've only read it once because he woos his girl by reading her recipes, and if you read it when you're hungry, it is it is not a pleasant experience. And she is followed by Guman, who also writes really fluffy, light, feel-good romances. The most well-known of which I think is Come Meet Shan Shan. This was a very big hit when the adaptation came out. It is again food-based. Both of these authors, they aren't available in English through like a publishing house. They are being translated online on Hui3R, and they both have quite a large selection. And then we run into some trouble with Lee Bardugo, who I enjoyed the Grisha trilogy well enough. I did not like Mal at all, and I continue to loathe him. I adored the Six of Crows duology, and then King of Scars I think came out, and I had intended to buy it, and I didn't, and my interest has fallen away. I don't really have any interest in her writing anymore. I am curious about Ninth House, but the fourth is Xu Lei, who, granted, he has written my favourite series of all time, but that is a trash fire series, and I love it as much as I love tearing it to pieces. It is absolutely terrible, and that's why I don't really understand why he's here, because you are terrible. You are a terrible writer. I stand by the second book. I can't remember what it's called. I stand by the second book, but I will not defend the series, and I don't know why he's here. So that leaves us now with adding Jeanette Ng, who wrote Under the Pendulum Sun, which is absolutely gorgeous. It is trope-tastic. It is fantastical, magical, very dark. It is also one of my favourite books. It was my favourite book of last year, I believe. We don't remember what years are anymore. It is amazing, and it is like I trust her not to disappoint. Like, you know, when you pick up a book and you just know from the first sentence that this is it. That's how I feel about Jeanette Ng. Similarly, this was how I felt about the Poppy War. And so Arif Kwang belongs on this list as well. I haven't finished the Poppy War. I am terrified of the heart, but also really looking forward to it. And like I said, I fell in love with the book immediately, and I just know that that love will carry me throughout, even when it hurts. And then we have Aliette de Boudard, who has written the Dominion of the Fallen series, which is gothic as well. Dark fantasy, a little bit gory, tremendous. It is the House of Shattered Wings, the House of Binding Thorns, and then the House of Thunder and Flames, which I haven't started yet, unfortunately. I am aiming to get to it by the end of the year. I have also read the side story from Dominion of the Fallen, of Dragons, Feasts and Murders. I read In the Vanisher's Palace, which is a sapphic retelling of Beauty and the Beast, the Vietnamese, of course, and I didn't feel like the romance was the focal point of it, but I loved it all the same. I also, Aliette Boudard also stands out for her short fiction for me. Lullaby for a Lost World, which I think is in conversation with another piece of writing, and her contribution to the Silk and Steel anthology, which was definitely a reworking of Utena, which I'm not familiar with in its original form. I really love her writing and the themes, and she has never disappointed me, and I love her work. I have no books listed for books that make me laugh, although I will put Silk and Steel, which was it was largely a very light, happy anthology. Of course, different stories have different purposes and different intentions, but it was just such a mood lifter. And this is followed by books that made me cry. One Life, One Incarnation, Beautiful Bones always makes me cry at the prologue. She says something like, it's you, Zhou Chen, it's really you, and it gets me every time I read it. Just, it's gorgeous. I also have They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera, for reasons which I think are obvious in the title. The Travelling Cat, I think I mean The Travelling Cat Chronicles. The Fault in Our Stars, because I was not immune to that. And A Monster Calls, which, yes, it is a story about grief and the accepting of it and the working through it. This list is very short because I did not tend to cry when I read books. That's only changed in the past 3 or 4 months, and now I cry at everything. The book that I'm currently reading is by Kate Danley. It does touch on grief, of course, but I have cried so much during it, and it isn't even that sad. I don't know what started this, but I now cry at everything. Accompanied by an illustration of Cormac McCarthy's The Road is Books That Scared Me, and I have 2 entries here: Anglesey Hidden Sands by Shuley and Palace of Doom, also by Shuley. These are both from my favourite series ever. The Trash Fire, that is the Grave Robbers Chronicles, and frankly most of them have scared me at some point. Every single time I read them I have a different reaction, and so I have been scared by all of them at some point. I don't tend to get scared by books, however, so much as I get dread. So I will not be adding to this one. Same way I did not add to the ones that make me cry. I'm hoping this will change because I have been edging more into horror as I've been getting more into gothic. But for now, it's just those two. The next list is books I hope to make into films, and I have opinions on adaptations. I was really excited when they announced like a Grishaverse adaptation, and then I just lost interest in that series. I do feel like I was always a wee bit uncertain and untrusting of the fact that they were going to do both the trilogy and the Six of Crows duology. I felt that it wasn't enough. But I think I've turned to the negative largely because of the news of the adaptation of One Life, One Incarnation, Beautiful Bones. I think Mobile Flubba was working on it because she is actually a scriptwriter. That's her proper job, or a screenwriter, and she just writes books in her spare time. They got a handsome guy for Zhou Chen, and how dare? It's right in the title. Beautiful Bones. Yes, Beautiful Bones. And you got a handsome guy. Why would you do that? Anyway, the three that I have written down are Tiny Pretty Things, which has gotten a Netflix adaptation, is going to. I don't know if it's out yet, but I'm excited about that. The other one I wrote down is The Poppy War, which I think it would just be spectacular to view that on the big screen, and also I love wuxia, and I think it could really appeal to me on that basis, on both like the fantasticalness of it and the history side of it, if they did it very well, and I don't know if I trust anyone to do it very well. And then The Unexpected Inheritance of Inspector Chopper, because do you know what the series is called? The series is called The Baby Ganesh Detective Agency. This police officer has been forced into retirement because of health issues, and he gets this inheritance from this strange uncle of his who has passed away, and it's an elephant. It's this kind of gruff old cop tracking down crime and taking this beautiful baby elephant with him, and like, who wouldn't want that? I don't care if it's not a film, just please give me this. Like The Mandalorian, I feel like it would appeal to people who like that dynamic, and I want this so much. I want this so much. It isn't on the list, and I'm not really going to add it to the list, but also Trail of Lightning would be amazing. So another list is fictional characters I connected with. The illustration this time is Miguel de Cervantes' Don Quixote. And I don't actually have anything listed for this because, well, my mind tends to go blank when you ask me questions, especially like multiple choice questions or choose from questions. I didn't have anything. And while I'm sure I'm going to end up kicking myself once this video goes up, I am going to put Evelyn Perdineau from Yellow Jessamine, which, again, to reiterate, I have both done a review of it on YouTube, which is under 5 minutes, and uploaded the transcript to my blog. It's under, I think, 5 paragraphs. It's just, oof, yeah, I don't really want to get into why I connect with her, because she is not, like, that is not a compliment. If you said that I feel like you and Evelyn Perdenu are similar, I would not take it as a compliment. Funnily enough, I never actually put anything down in fictional characters I'd go on a date with. I don't know if that's just another case of going blank or just shame. And I think that is just about enough rambling from me tonight. So I will leave you with what I've written down for favourite literary lovebirds. Inej and Kaz from the Six of Crows duology by Lee Bardugo. I like them. I don't know if they belong in this list. She and Joshua Chen by Nobel Bao from One Life, One Incarnation, Beautiful Bones, of course. And I'm actually really mad at myself for putting them below Inej and Kaz, but we all make mistakes. And Shui Shanshan and Feng Teng from Shanshan Come and Eat. Thank you for watching. Bye.